Let's talk about loot today, because at this point we are basically 10 days away from patch 10.1.7, and amongst the other things which we will be pointing out in our video of what's coming, what are the features coming in 10.1.7, there is one, the Dreamsurge new world event that will also effectively shower your alts in loot at an even faster rate than the time rifts many players are doing right now as far as alt catch-up gear is concerned. So, since nowadays we are approaching being some 4 months into this patch, maybe many players have given up doing things that competitive or that time consuming. Maybe they are already chilling, playing other games, waiting for new content to come out. Maybe some of the things that you might spend some time into right now in the patch is, for example, playing some alts, catching up on some of your older characters, some of the characters you started playing at the release of the expansion that you were sure they were going to be good and fun to play and turned out to be terrible. Maybe you're trying to dust them off again right now, several months after the release, etc, etc. So, with the release of the Dreamsurges in 10.1.7, you will get a lot of gear very quickly. Now, it's not really that complicated. The idea of a Dreamsurge is that, at the very least right now, once per week, one zone will be chosen to be affected by the Dreamsurge. First of all, just to make it a little bit more handy for your alts, that zone will be getting the Dreaming Winds buff, meaning you will get 25% more experience in that zone. But more importantly, everything you are doing in that zone will be affected by the Dreamsurge. That means defeating mobs, defeating rares, defeating elite rares, doing world quests, and even flying around will be affected by the Dreamsurge. On top of empowering and changing what already exists in the zone, the Dreamsurge will also have a cycle of 30 minutes where a Dreamsurge portal will open, allowing players to complete the objectives inside and defeat the mini-boss inside. Basically, that part is similar to the time rifts of right now, except the spawn location is random and not always predetermined. Since the point of the Dreamsurges is loot, there are two types of loot. One is repeatable, as well as, more importantly, bind on account, meaning you can do it on your main, for example. Maybe you need some renown, you want some rep or something on your main. You can still benefit your alts by being able to trade the rewards because they are bind on account. And then there is the other type of reward, which is behind a weekly lockout and is also not bind on account, which means you have to do it on the character you want the rewards on. The weekly lockout is basically a weekly quest, just like one of the many other weekly quests with a big reward right now in the game, where you have to collect 100 Dreamsurge Coalescence to receive a Dreamsurge Chrysalis. The Dreamsurge Chrysalis is the currency you need to exchange for a champion level 415 item level piece of gear that can be upgraded all the way up to 437 item level. This is the one that is not bind on account. This is the one that is not tradable, meaning you have to do it on the character you want this piece of gear on. And as mentioned, it's on a weekly lockout. There is no other way at the moment, at the very least, to cheat the amount of Dreamsurge Chrysalis you can receive every week. You just get one by completing this weekly quest. The Dreamsurge Coalescence is the currency you can spend by the hundreds or by the thousands, and is something that basically drops everywhere. Defeating mobs, defeating rare mobs, defeating elites will all drop Dreamsurge Coalescence. Completing world quests, no matter what kind, even if you're doing a dragon riding world quest or a wall climbing world quest, is still gonna give you 10 or so coalescence as a reward. You can even find little green orbs around the zone in the air that you can fly over with your dragon to gain a bunch of Dreamsurge Coalescence. This is the one that can be turned in for the repeatable rewards. So, besides, of course, things like toys and pets and mounts, you have the 402 item level veteran level bind on account tokens. So 402 being the starting item level, it means they can be upgraded all the way up to 424 item level. And this, as pointed out, is number 1 repeatable and number 2 bind on account. You have the vendor, which will offer you every single armor type in the game for you, as well as offering you things like accessories, like rings or necklaces that you can also buy with Dreamsurges and get your 424 item level piece of gear to send over one of your alts. This can be made even faster because when the Dreamsurge portals open every 30 minutes, they will also be dropping an entire token by themselves, on top of dropping 25 Dreamsurge coalescence for you. So you can speed up the process of getting this catch-up gear even faster by going into the portals and dealing with the mini-bosses. Also, in the events inside the portals, where you have to, for example, fend off waves of Druids of the Flame attacking you, those mobs can also be dropping Dreamsurge coalescence for you, making you earn even more of this reward. The mini-bosses in the portals will also be dropping 1 charred elemental remains every time you defeat them, and basically this means that you need to defeat 20 bosses inside the portals to be able to combine the remains together to form the renewed Magmammoth mount available from this event. So at the end of the day, this new feature coming in 10.1.7 will allow you to essentially farm very quickly a full set of 424 item level gear for one of your alts, as well as once a week a piece of gear at 437 item level. And also worth mentioning, the collection of this Dreamsurge coalescence is rather fast. To complete the weekly that awards you with one of these chrysalises, it's gonna take you something like 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes to get the 100 coalescence you need for the weekly, so it's very, very quick. And if you consider that patch 10.2 is at least 8, maybe 10 weeks away, you will be able to get 8 to 10 437 item level pieces from this event before the new patch comes, which means you will be able to get many of your alts, if you so wanted to, very close to, for example, 440 item level, just with this open world event. Not to mention, talking about catch-up mechanisms, that you still have available the time rifts, which still give you some respectable item level gear in terms of alts and lower item level characters. You still have, of course, the Great Vault, and not only that, you still have the crafting system to give you some quite high item level pieces for your alts. So with this addition of the Dreamsurges, we have an even easier time getting multiple characters at a high enough item level to be able to complete some of the, at the very least, entry level, mid-level, end game content in this patch. We can continue down the line of this expansion being one of the, if not the best expansion when it comes to being able to level and gear up multiple characters very quickly, compared to previous expansions where there were much complaining about the annoyance and the grind and the tediousness required for being able to keep up multiple characters at the same time and keep up their item level at the same time. Definitely Blizzard is not shying away in Dragonflight from giving us multiple ways to be able to get our gear and get it quickly. The Dreamsurges are going to be one of the few other features coming in 10.1.7. We will make a collection, we will make the ensemble of the features coming in 10.1.7 all together in a future video coming out quite soon. But for today, we were focused on the catch-up gear system coming in 10.1.7. So for today, on this Saturday, it's time to leave each other to our weekend. Thanks, of course, as usual, to all of the Patreon supporters for the contribution and help to the growth of the channel. Support which can still be, of course, given completely for free. You can like and comment down below, as well as subscribe to the channel itself. Now, with these pointless things out of the way, thank you guys again for watching. See you guys tomorrow, and in the meantime, just one more day. Just one more day of this heat wave, and then I think we are free. We might even start propping up our camera again, finally.